So right at the beginning of this year, I lost all of motivation to just create. Like, I just didn't want to turn on the camera and hit record. And ultimately, what got me going again was just setting goals. Goals are super powerful to give you that drive to keep moving forward. But when it comes to setting a goal, it has to be realistic. You can't just do some big crazy goal and expect that you're going to obtain it. It has to be something that you can realistically get to, but also it needs to be a little bit harder so that it's not like super easy to obtain. Now, what's really crazy is 67% of people who have a gym membership don't actually use that. And I think one of the big sources for people not using that membership is they just don't have the motivation to go to the gym. When it comes to fitness, for me, the reason that I work out every day is that every 6 to 9 months, I schedule a climb. And these climbs I can't just like pick up and do tomorrow. I have to train for these. And so that gives me my motivation to keep working out every day because I've scheduled something and put it on the books. Now, goals are great to get you moving, but I've come up with 6 different things that for me help me keep the ball rolling even more so that I don't like end up in the kitchen just looking for snacks. So the first thing that works for me to keep this motivation going is to just treat every day like a normal day. Even when we're completely on lockdown right now, getting out of pajamas and actually like going about my day as if it's a normal day gets me moving in the right direction. Routine is super important, and all of us are gonna have a different routine. But for me, something that I've found is that every morning I read from the Daily Stoic and a book called Human 365. Now, these are both daily meditations, and so it's a quick thing to read, but the authors give you some ways to think about your life in a different perspective. Now, I particularly like Human 365 because the whole idea around this book is becoming the next level human. And the idea of the next level human is becoming the best version of you, that version of you that's always motivated. And this comes from having control of your life rather than just reacting to the things that happen to you in life. Now, before we go into my other 5 tricks that I've come up with to keep me motivated, I actually reached out to the author, Dr. Jade, and I asked him one question. I wanted to know his thoughts around how you stay motivated in a time of uncertainty. And he sent me back this response.
So what do we do in difficult times, times of hardship, and times of uncertainty? One of the most important things that we can do is understand that we get to choose how we perceive the situations we find ourselves in. When we are in difficult situations, we can choose whether this is going to degrade us, whether we're going to blame, whether we're going to complain, or whether it's going to grow us, whether we're going to see the opportunities for growth in the situation. We can decide what this will mean. So if we're stuck and we are quarantined, or we're in prison, or we're isolated, and we can't have the routines that we once had, there's opportunity there, and it's our job to find it. There are opportunities in every single hardship. The Stoics talked about the idea that there are certain things that we control and certain things that we don't control. And they were really big on the idea that the only thing we truly control is the way we think about the situation, how we perceive it. Everything else is on loan. We can be wealthy and lose it. We can be healthy and lose it. We can have love and lose it. What we have to understand is that pain and suffering, while difficult, can be a path or a source to incredible growth and meaning. Because we humans are not islands unto ourselves. What we have to realize is that we thrive when others thrive. And we have this deep-seated drive, all of us, I believe, to make a difference and be of use in the world. And so these opportunities come about through hardships and uncertainty and difficult times for us to show up in a way to bring our unique gifts to the world in a way that can make a difference. It's not everything happens for a reason. It's things happen and then we choose a reason. And that's how hardship becomes growth and how pain becomes purpose.
Jade has a ton of insight in what it means to be a next level human, and I highly suggest you check out his book, Human 365. Now let's go into the rest of my ways that I stay motivated throughout the day. The second thing that I do is I schedule out everything. And schedule is super important, and you don't want to be thinking of your schedule while you're doing it. What I find that works for me is creating a schedule beforehand. So today, I'm going to build out my schedule for tomorrow, so that when I wake up and I start my routine, I know exactly what I'm going to do throughout the day rather than just kind of winging it. And especially working from home, I can get super distracted, and I have a 3-week-old newborn and she is cute, so I want to hang out with her, and I'll find myself hours later just hanging out with her, playing around with some toys. You know, a big part of this is also social media and things like news. With everything going on in the world, you know, it's hard to pull yourself away from the news, and social media in general is built to keep your attention. So what I found that best works for me is to schedule out my time for social media, news, and even email. Like, I don't touch my email until a certain time of the day, and I only look at it for, say, an hour or two. And this ties into the third thing that I do, which is just limit consumption. I try to pull myself away from everything and really, like I said, schedule times for it. So only give myself the freedom to do social media later in the evening versus all day. Now, the fourth thing that I do is surround myself with family and friends. Now, right now, we're isolated, we're alone, but we're really not. The power of video chatting and the power of just picking up the phone and having a conversation is so prevalent in today's world that you're never alone. And if you're ever feeling alone, just reach out to one of your friends or reach out to a family member, because everyone is just a few clicks away. The fifth thing that I found that works for me is create a realistic to-do list. And this is not just like a list of 100,000 things that I need to get done. It's taking the things that I need to do and putting it in a way that makes it so that I knock stuff off the task list. And there are times where I'll focus on my list, and there are times that I'll put it away. One huge thing that works for me is get everything out of my head and put it into my list. I use an app called Things, and every time that I think about something that I need to do, I put it into my inbox. And then later I schedule a time to go through my list and actually sort things based on whether I need to do it now, later, or just sometime in the future. What I've found is that when I put things on my to-do list and I don't do them for a super long time, it really pulls at my motivation, because I have it still sitting in the back of my head because I know it's on my list. So I go through and I clean up my list. I'll take things off and I'll just be like, I'm not going to do this. Or I'll put it into something where I say, hey, I'll check this on this date. And I schedule things. Now, my sixth trick to kind of keep myself motivated is to move. Physically move. This is another reason why I work out every day. If I wake up, I do my morning routine, and then I get a workout in, I'm usually good to go all day and I'm super motivated. Whereas when I don't work out, I actually start feeling more fatigued as the day goes on, and I really lose my motivation. If I don't have the time to work out, I'll go for a walk or go outside. A really cool thing to do is just get up in the morning, grab your coffee, and go for a walk around the block. Alright guys, I just want to say thanks for watching this video and thanks for sticking around till the end. I would love to hear from you. Do you have any tricks or hacks that you use to keep yourself motivated throughout the day? Put them down below in the comments, and guys, that's it. I'll see you on the next one.